not every one of our businesses, specifically bars and restaurants, necessarily want big sports, right? They may be a soccer bar, maybe they're a cricket bar, maybe they're a fighting bar that kind of focuses on MMA and WWE and gosh, even like the new slapping leagues.
Welcome to Inside Business with DIRECTV, where entertainment meets enterprise. I'm your host, Jon Greer. Today's guest is someone who lives and breathes sports and knows exactly how to turn game day into business gold. Mark Rogers is the Senior Director at DIRECTV for Business, and he's the guy behind the scenes helping bars and restaurants become the ultimate sports viewing destinations. From big league programming to on-the-ground promotions, Mark knows what drives fans through your door and keeps them coming back. Mark, welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
It's great to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
You literally eat, sleep, breathe sports. Let's start off by learning a little bit more about you first. How'd you come to DIRECTV? What gets you excited about sports for your customers?
Yeah, I've always had a real passion for sports. I was a 3-sport athlete in high school. Who I wanted to be when I grew up was Jerry Maguire. I was so motivated by that movie. But I was fortunate enough to get into the sports management program at UMass, and it was the number one program in the country. And then I got an internship with the New York Liberty. From there, I was able to morph that position into a job with the Knicks once I graduated. Did that for a few seasons, and then moved on to JetBlue Airways, where I was managing a lot of our sports sponsorships. And I did that for a really long time. And then eventually I moved out to California and kind of handled the West Coast sports sponsorships. And then eventually made my way onto DIRECTV and continued to manage sports, for our business product.
Amazing sports pedigree, Mark. So obviously, you know better than most. A lot of businesses are starting to make decisions now to gear up for the season. How does DIRECTV for Business help bars and restaurants, hotels, so many other establishments stay ahead of the upcoming football season, bringing that whole package together?
Yeah. It starts early. We have a really fantastic communications program where we start talking about football season in the May and June timeframe. So we want to make sure customers are well aware of the great things that we're going to have available come college and NFL season. We have this really great fantasy football marketing program that we provide, these businesses to, again, educate the patron that, hey, have your fantasy draft here. We also provide them with fantasy draft boards, player stickers, where that business can actually hand that to the drafting league at no additional cost. We're giving that stuff to them in hopes that we can help them drive additional traffic in that July timeframe as it leads up to NFL Sunday Ticket. And then, of course, we want that patron to continue to go back to that business because they had a great experience, they got a free draft board, and continue to spend money throughout the year watching their fantasy players at that particular business. I also think the NFL does a really good job with keeping people engaged in the league as much as possible. They have a really great strategy with trying to get some type of event every single month of the year. The NFL is always top of mind, whether that's the draft combine, the mini camps, the regular camp. It's just the NFL just knows what they're doing. So they really help us get that word out about NFL season.
Wow, Mark, I didn't realize you guys are thinking about this even before the season starts. You mentioned NFL Sunday Ticket a couple times. What role does DIRECTV play in making NFL Sunday Ticket available to bars and restaurants?
Yeah, it's a strong one. Obviously we've had NFL Sunday Ticket as an option for customers, for pushing 30 years now. And the NFL Sunday Ticket has certainly helped us get where we are today. By providing customers the NFL Sunday Ticket package, along with the supporting marketing materials that go with it, we know how crucial it is that we continue to kind of have that relationship with our customers and making sure that we're getting them all the NFL that we certainly can. It is the premier sports package, so it is crucial.
And professional football definitely gets a lot of attention gearing up for the fall. How do you think about college sports and helping a business create that fan atmosphere each fall and spring?
College football has changed a lot. And so we look at it like we have a national footprint, but we also have to realize what about some of these smaller schools? And I think we do a really, really good job because of the diversity of our sports programming, help bring those local schools to those smaller regions because they still want to watch those guys, even though they aren't a premier organization or college.
Yeah, all sports is tribal, right? And I want
Right.
my team, my hometown.
That's right.
So it sounds like you're giving a solution to every bar, restaurant, location to be able to serve those local fans.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand football is a big driver for business, but you're focused on the right mix of sports year round. So how do you think about in the non-football times of the year that you're also connecting new programming to the bars they can show to their consumers?
Yeah, honestly, John, being a leader in sports sure helps us with that answer. So outside of football, we have the most MLB games. We have the most RSNs. And we have the most football nationwide, college and NFL combined. By essentially having diverse sports programming, we feel like we're really kind of catering to that business, but we're also catering to the patron of that business. And so when they walk in and they say, hey, do you guys have DIRECTV? The hope is that patron, again, just kind of sits down, orders their food and drink, doesn't have to leave. And then, again, from the business side, that'll help them draw more customers, have them stay longer and bigger bills and generate more revenue.
Along those lines, Mark, are you seeing up-and-coming sports that are drawing fans in, like women's sports riding on the Caitlin Clark effect, cricket, MMA, racing, soccer? Kind of what insights can you share?
Yeah, I think it goes back again to just being that leader in sports. I think we have a really great understanding that not every one of our businesses, specifically bars and restaurants, necessarily want big sports, right? They may be a soccer bar, maybe they're a cricket bar, maybe they're a fighting bar that kind of focuses on MMA and WWE and gosh, even like the new slapping leagues. We need to make sure that we provide plenty of options for all types of businesses, right? We have that responsibility as a leader in sports to do that. We're certainly seeing the rise of the WNBA, right? I mean, as you mentioned, we're continuing to grow our relationships with these streamers who own these sports. And obviously that's just kind of where the industry is going. But I think what we do a really, really good job at is reaching out to these folks and being able to deliver their content through a satellite feed. And we've seen a lot of success with that, starting with Thursday Night Football. And we're continuing to grow that with Apple in terms of MLS Season Pass and Apple Friday Night Baseball. And you're going to continue to see even more and more of that kind of come online as more streamers continue to buy sports.
I have to be honest, slap fighting was not something I had on my sports bingo card, but really interesting to see the fandom that's emerged from that. You did talk about streaming and satellite. And how are you working with streaming providers to bring content into bars and restaurants?
We currently have relationships with Amazon for Thursday Night Football. Also partnered with them on their 5 NASCAR races that they had in 2025. So we delivered that to customers. Our relationship with Apple through MLS Season Pass and Apple Friday Night Baseball. We partner with them to talk about how it is together we can market their sports to our customer base. There's other streamers out there that also have their own content that I know we're going to continue to have relationships with and grow together. And they rely on us, right? As the leader in sports and as the market share leader, they work with us to be able to distribute their content legally and obviously trying to alleviate some of the issues with piracy. DIRECTV for Business is the best solution to deliver their content in the right way to patrons nationwide.
Showing sports in a business can be a costly decision. So how does DIRECTV for Business help a bar or restaurant maximize the ROI so they have a year-round impact?
Yeah, there's a few things there. So we first provide customers with the ability to actually do their own math. And we have these profit calculators, and they really are for a customer to determine what their ROI would be on these sports packages. But we provide these calculators for them to better understand what it'll cost for them to purchase this sports package. So that's step one. I think then obviously we're going to talk about some of the value statements and how they maybe differentiate between the business next door by them having this sports package. But once they actually get that sports package, we're going to provide them with a lot of marketing materials to help them promote that. And we understand that this is an investment. We want to make sure we have a good relationship with our customers, especially the smaller guys, right? It's the Jimmy's bar down the street who, doesn't have those big marketing budgets. We want to sort of step in and really help them to market these investments that they make in sports with these marketing materials to help that patron walking by be like, oh, I didn't know Jimmy's Bar had that sports package. Well, I'm going to go in and watch now that I know that they do. So again, it's more about the relationship we're trying to forge with that particular bar restaurant.
Is that through the DIRECTV MVP marketing program?
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Can you share a little bit more of what that includes and how it helps business owners?
Yeah, it's a fantastic program, and it does a variety of things. There's 5 or 6 different pieces that are from within it. First is our marketing kits. So as I mentioned earlier, you want to make sure that we're supporting those investments in our sports packages and helping educate their patrons that this business has the particular sports package or game that they're looking for. So for one of the bigger sports packages, the NFL Sunday tickets, MLB extra innings of the world, we'll actually proactively send a marketing kit that'll include a banner, a poster, a window cling, and other things. Again, the customer doesn't have to do anything. We just make sure that, hey, we see that you've ordered this and we make sure we get it to you. The second piece is our DirecTVMVP.com platform. So once they actually order the sports package, they're able to kind of log into their account and order additional materials outside of their marketing kit that they're going to receive at no cost. And the stuff we have up on there is a little bit more functional, right? So think about a serving tray, beer bucket, a pennant, things of that nature. They just use their MVP credits, so it's no additional cost. We also have a lot of other great content on there as well, including a sports schedule, allowing customers to see what's on, right? And what channel it's on. We have what we call our custom shop. So a customer can go up on MVP.com and they can customize some things with their own logos if they want. Now, we sell that stuff, but it's at a reduced cost because they're a customer of ours. And we've had a lot of success there. There's even some information on how to help build your business, as well as how to build your social media presence, right? So helping them understand, how to be impactful on Meta, how to be impactful on LinkedIn. And so we'll give a lot of great suggestions and feedback on there. Number 3, I would talk about the Sports Bar Finder. Sports Bar Finder platform helps patrons find their favorite team or their favorite sports package at any bar throughout the country. So any business that takes ESPN or any one of our sports packages will be listed on Sports Bar Finder. It's a really great tool to help them market themselves to patrons. So if they don't walk by that business and see a sign in the window saying, hey, we have NFL Sunday ticket, well, by pushing patrons to our sportsbarfinder.com, that will educate them of what sports packages a particular business may have. We've integrated it with Yelp. So there's a lot of great Yelp data that we include on there as well. Things like, do they have happy hour? What are their hours of operation? Photos, ratings, things of that nature are all up on there. On top of the stuff with Yelp, we've expanded it to include fan watch parties. So we're encouraging business owners to also go on the app and input information on when they're having watch parties. As well as, what kind of teams that they follow. Are they in Florida and they're an Eagles bar? Are they in Oregon and are they a Mets bar, right? So we give the business owner also access to the platform to, again, just provide more information, out to the patrons so they understand, what does this business look like? Who's their fandom? What sports packages do they have? What are their hours? We're just trying to provide as much information, to patrons and to businesses as we possibly can. Sports Bar Finder Help does that.
That's awesome, because I assume most bar owners aren't marketers by trade.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We understand that they wear a lot of hats. So by providing these different tools to help them, again, drive awareness of kind of their investment into DIRECTV and the sports packages, we feel like we've done a really good job with that.
Mark, what feedback can you share from the bars and restaurants who are participating in the MVP program?
Yeah, we've had a ton of success with this program. It's been in existence for well over 10 years. We've done significant amount of updates since its infancy. The feedback we constantly get from our customers is this has been an absolute positive for them, especially the small bars. So we know it works. Right? We know it absolutely is something that DIRECTV needs to continue to provide to our customers because they're telling us how important it really is. Again, working with streamers and some of the things that they want to accomplish in terms of promoting their respective sports and programming. we've really done a good job with exposing the MVP program to those programmers, and they truly find the value in which we're providing materials to our customers. So much so that every year they come back and ask us, hey, how can we do more with your MVP program? So now we're being told by, again, our customers that it's working. We're being told by our programming partners that it's working. So again, we're continuing to figure out how we can expand it to provide more and more materials and educational pieces. It's just something we continue to do and really will thrive at.
That's awesome. Mark, as we close out, if a business wants to learn more about sports from DIRECTV and the MVP program, where should they go?
Yeah, we have some great educational pieces on directvmvp.com. We have essentially a 101 guide that'll help that customer really understand the full gamut of everything that we're providing to them. The marketing kits, to the sports schedule, to the sports bar finder, everything that they could want to know about the program is up on that website. Or they can certainly call us. Our agents can give them a good idea of everything that we're going to do, continue to support them throughout our relationship.
Huge thanks to Mark Rogers for taking us inside the world of sports and strategy and how DIRECTV makes your happy hour a whole lot better. If you liked what you heard, go ahead and subscribe. I'm your host, Jon Greer, and this has been Inside Business with DIRECTV.